Now let us turn our attention to a community of volunteers, numbering millions in Turkey and abroad, who are seeking to do just that. Volunteers who are inspired by the likes of the 13th century mystical poet, Yunus Emre, who said, "We love the created because of the Creator." The great Sufi master, Jalal al-Din Rumi, who said, "With one foot grounded firmly in Islam, I move like a compass among all the other different communities." And today, Fethullah Gulen, an Islamic scholar and peace activist who teaches, "Be so tolerant that your bosom becomes wide like the ocean. Become inspired with faith and love of human beings. Let there be no troubled souls to whom you do not offer a hand, and about whom you remain unconcerned." Literally millions have been motivated by Fethullah Gulen's positive message of love, peace, education and dialogue. Through his sermons and lectures, his writings and other activities, he has taught a whole generation in Turkey and abroad. Motivated by his teaching, the volunteers have established hundreds of schools in over 80 countries, including Pakistan, Bangladesh and India. Many students inspired by Fethullah Gulen have trained as teachers in order to be able to serve in these schools. Once graduated, they travel to different parts of the world, far from home, to educate future generations. These schools are non-denominational and follow the national curriculum of the country in which they are based. They strive to combine academic excellence with the instruction of sound morals. Through the good example of teachers and other staff, these schools try to instill in students universal values, such as honesty, fairness, humility, respect for others, tolerance, responsibility, cooperativeness, and compassion. These schools take pride in bringing together students from different backgrounds, faiths, and cultures. For example, in northern Iraq, 6 such schools have been running since 1999. In these schools, Sunni, Shia, and Kurdish Iraqis study together the same syllabus in the same classrooms. In Zamboanga, on the southern Philippine island of Mindanao, there is another such school called the Philippine Turkish School of Tolerance. It was founded in 1995 in this very turbulent region, where the population is about half Muslim and half Christian. The school functions as an oasis of peace, with Christian and Muslim students learning side by side. In addition to the schools, Fethullah Gulen has been encouraging the community of volunteers to engage in interfaith and intercultural dialogue. He has personally set a good example by meeting with faith leaders to establish bonds of friendship. Among the distinguished leaders he has met in the 1990s are the late Pope John Paul II at the Vatican, the late John O'Connor, Archbishop of New York, Leon Levi, former president of the Jewish Anti-Defamation League, the Patriarch of the Turkish Orthodox Church, the Patriarch of the Turkish Armenian community, and the Chief Rabbi of the Turkish Jewish community. As a result of Gulen's efforts, hundreds of dialogue associations and charities have been founded all over the world. Through these charities, the volunteers come together with people of different faiths and cultural traditions. When the 9/11 attacks took place, Fethullah Gulen was one of the first Islamic scholars to step forward and unequivocally condemn such acts. He said, "Terror can never be used in the name of Islam or for the sake of any Islamic end. Acts such as random killing, suicide bombings and kidnappings are completely forbidden in Islam and can never be undertaken whatever the circumstance or condition. Those who kill one innocent person through such acts are considered in Islam to have killed the whole of humankind. A terrorist cannot be a Muslim, and a Muslim cannot be a terrorist. A Muslim can only be the representative and symbol of peace, well-being and prosperity. To help share the message of peace and love which they believe is at the heart of Islam, this community of volunteers have founded, as well as hundreds of schools across the world, an international TV channel. A daily newspaper with the highest circulation in Turkey, a number of periodicals in different languages, and various interfaith platforms and think tanks. This community is not a post-9/11 phenomenon. It does not represent a reactive effort. Rather, it is a proactive movement that has continued its service for over half a century. It is an example of how people can work together, individually and collectively, to eradicate distrust, hatred and prejudice, and nurture in their place mutual respect and understanding, and a loving tolerance. In the early hours of one morning, 4 teachers set off on a journey that would change their lives forever, and the lives of many more.